trying to wrestle, trying to prove a point, but not one punch is being thrown in none of these events.
Doc said it right, man. Like that wasn't even a fight. That what
Nah.
what he did, he grabbed his shorts. That's what it looked like he did. Like that's not a fight. And Lance from Coney Island, we know what fighting looked like. That wasn't a fight. That was
Yeah,
just probably a
Yeah.
publicity stunt just to get more attention or something like that. But come on, stick to the basketball. Let's watch these guys, showcase their talent and stick to the basketball. Like I'm re-looking at it. Like he dead. First off, he know he can't beat Dwight Howard, but just for the show, it looked like he tried to do something, and they really ain't doing nothing. They was really just hugging in circles, dancing. That's all it was.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, at this point in their careers, there's really no need. I mean, just protect the bag, pretty much. Like Ice Cube giving you an opportunity to keep making money. I might as well, you know what I mean? Might as well.
Making
Hopefully, it
money,
helps you
playing that
put you in a
game.
position to actually to try to get like a 10-day contract in the NBA or something. You know what I mean? Especially as a veteran. So you got to think about all that.
I mean, Dwight
Do you
Howard
feel
not.
like Lance had a strong debut because he put up a couple good baskets? I'm not going to cap. And then Mike Beasley, obviously, Mike Beasley obviously had a phenomenal game, but I feel like Dwight Howard got caught up in the physicality of the game. Like, oh, I'm bigger than everybody, so take this elbow, hold
Yeah,
this. I can still play in the league type of vibe. How do you guys feel about that?
I think that's really what it was. From when I first watched just a few of the clips, Dwight Howard was trying to play like that aggressive big man game against Reggie Evans, and like Reggie Evans is kind of like a football player on a basketball court. Like he
yeah.
already was guarding bigs his whole career, so
That's
you already
easy
see
for him.
like he wasn't right. Like you can see he wasn't gonna get bullied by Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? Not to say like Dwight Howard can't do that, but he can. But it just wasn't happening in the 3-on-3 setting. Like it's way less more situations you got to worry about. So like really for not for nothing, it's just like one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. I got to worry about who's in front of me and who's behind me. Like nah, you know what I'm saying? It's me and
It's
you.
you on the
So
island on that 3-on-3, so it's hard to like
right,
hide out and do sneaky elbow bumps.
yeah,
Nah, this is just
yeah.
y'all.
Exactly, because it's like not for nothing. Like if I don't gotta worry about a backdoor cut or somebody going to the 3-point line on the flip. Like yo, I'll be tight, but like nah. Like if you're trying to box, trying to box me in and do all this and throwing elbows against strong with me, but I can get strong back with you. You gotta be ready for all of that come with it. You know what I'm saying? So like
Mhm.
I feel like with Dwight Howard, he did come in there on some like yeah like I like he took the term LA riot for real. Like he really came in there acting like a bull. Like, he was wilding. So I mean,
I
Represent.
yeah,
I
like
think I think I think the White Howard is a clown, bro. I like call it what it is. Yeah, I think he's a
Mm,
clown. At the end of the day, that has no place in this era of basketball. Like I said, man, I played 3-on-3 tournaments where we used to be in Red Hook, Farragut, the Bronx. You played 3-on-3 basketball, man, and you got into a fight in another borough. You trying to get home.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
keep it a
Facts,
stack.
you
facts.
You
you
trying to
you
get
that's
home.
you're
yeah,
not
You
trying to
trying
get
to
into
get
a
home.
fight.
you
You
trying to
did
You
get
are
not try
not
to get
moved
getting.
into a fight.
on, right?
Not on no three on
You're
three,
trying to
so
get. You know how hard it is to get home after you start a fight in another borough.
on
Like
Word.
I
bro.
said,
Doc, Doc,
you
like
you
you don't go
you
home.
talk about you were you 100% right there. You might not even make it home.
And not
So
for
yeah,
So
nothing, in 3-on-3s, it really be the best players playing because they know they're gonna win. So automatically, like you feel me? You playing a
eh,
3-on-3 in another borough, you playing against somebody they whole hood love. You know what
nah,
I'm saying?
bro.
So
You
it's
had
just
to.
like it's either like yo, bro, like I'm gonna come on here, my bully, and we all gonna understand it's basketball at the end of the day,
That's it.
or I'm gonna come in here, my bully, and not really care about basketball at the end of the day. So which one are you doing? And if you acting like how Dwight Howard was out the gate, it's kind of crazy.
Mm-mm,
I mean, it's
but you
mm-mm.
warranted for some type of scuffle to happen. You know what I'm saying? So like, for me, not for nothing. This is. I feel like this is Lance's redemption song. No lie, because
Mm.
you feel me? He lost the 1-on-1 to Beasley, right? He bet 100K. Then he doubled it to 200K. Beasley talk about I want your nipples and all this nonsense, right?
Yo, wait, stop. Please.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Listen,
But
lie. Lance
brother,
got cooked, bro. Lance got cooked.
brother, he put his nipples on the line and he lost him. But
My
listen,
man.
but
nah,
listen,
They got,
but
they got.
but hold on, listen,
First
listen.
off.
He got his balls back though. You feel me?
All right,
So
so
he's
look,
good. Then
look.
he fought
You
Dwight
going
Howard
against
and didn't listen. All I'm gonna say is this, right? And we all know, and this is what I'm saying. This is that Coney Island water took full effect. When Dwight Howard tried to flip Lance and he didn't go nowhere, I ain't gonna lie, I was mad. I was like, oh my boy. So
because he
seeing
did try
that,
the big man flip him,
yo,
and he
he
was like,
tried to
nah.
toss him over, and Lance was like, nope. I was like, oh, I was like, that's that Coney Island water, bro. So shout
but you
out to
gotta
Lance.
understand, Dwight Howard, you can't bully a bully. Yeah, I said it earlier. Reggie Evans been playing big man his whole life. And if y'all notice the crazy part, I don't know if any of y'all seen it. Like Michael Beasley after the 1-on-1, his interview,
Yeah.
all jokes aside,
Yeah,
the man has a lot wrong with him, yo. He has a lot going on where to a
Like
point where he
physically.
says,
You're talking about
and,
physically, like
and
medically
mentally.
kind of thing. Okay, okay.
He's like, he says he doesn't even go nowhere. He says he goes to play ball, then comes back home. That's his only social life. He plays basketball, then he goes home. He
That's
doesn't
fucked
deal
up.
with nobody on the outside. Lance has been a showman since we knew Lance as a little kid, from his father and all of them. Lance been doing that stuff since the league, showing out, playing for the game, playing. If we was to go back to the era of street balling, a lot of things would be different. Because T Mac has a one-on-one league that I be
Okay.
watching on YouTube now. You know,
Oh
he
yeah,
Hmm.
got
he
the
signed up
16.
for that one.
Yeah, he got the
That one's
16
alright.
best one-on-one players, and they play for like 30 or $50,000, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna just keep it real. It's getting back to what ball was about, man. What the real competition is about. When you got guys that's hungry for the bag, instead of just giving these guys $300 million and they don't want to play no more, it's a big difference. That's why you see that aggression and that hunger. Or
Yo, wait,
everybody in the
wait,
big,
wait.
Well, let
Did
me.
anybody? Did anybody? Yeah, yeah. We mentioned in the Dwight joint, but like Lance popped off earlier in the joint, like on
Hmm.
he
slim
kind
dude.
of
Yeah,
Like
did.
yeah, yeah. On the
Yeah,
ain't
shooter,
nobody.
on
yeah,
yeah,
Like he
crazy
yeah,
actually
talk.
threw a punch on that one. Like I'm looking at it. Like
Nah, cause feel me, he hit him with one of these.
that's
Like
that
so,
CI water
you
for
feel me? Like
real.
yeah, you hit me with one of these. Like yo,
Yeah,
you gonna put
but
that?
that's a punch, bro.
Yeah.
Like you one finger short from a punch when you do this
That's what
there
I'm
you
by the
go.
face.
saying. So you know what I'm saying? Like yo, I'm gonna wow you up. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like so, for whatever Lance did was warranted, and that's what I'm saying. Like first of all, like we all from Coney Island. We all know, you know, like a majority of us in the party from Coney Island. So we all already know like basketball is in our DNA. So it's basketball mixed with crazy, mixed with being a para, mixed with being a firefighter, whatever you got, whatever job application out there in Coney Island is there for you. That's the occupation for you, right? So now again,
hmm,
but you can't forget the craziness is in there, regardless of what, however you look at it. Like you're not gonna look at something and take it for what the person is dishing out, and that's what I'm saying. Like Lance, he went in there and he held it down because at the end of the day, like if I'm cooking you, which is he has 16
He was dogging.
out of the 50, he was cooking. So whoever was guarding him was having a bad night. You know what I'm saying? And of course you're gonna get mad. You're gonna want to poke the bear. You want to do this. You want to do that. All right, cool, no problem. And the next thing you know, you think you're gonna send this big 7 foot, muscled up Dwight Howard, thinking like he gonna just do whatever he want because apparently he was fouling the whole game.
Yeah.
But the funny part, you gotta look at this. That's the best thing about 3-on-3.
Of course,
Everybody knows that you are on, like Dev said, you are on an island 1-on-1. You are going to get
Yep.
cooked. That is the beauty of the game. It's going back to the essence of no zone help. You gotta play your man 1-on-1.
You're
Lance
right.
is a great street baller. I'm gonna
yeah,
keep it real. He is a straight street baller. Michael Beasley, baller. Dwight
Dogging.
Howard, you're not a street baller. That's one thing you're not doing. You talk
So
about guys
I
who
got a
get out.
question for you guys. I got a question because Darrell Doc Holliday brought up a good point about being a street baller and a professional basketball player in the essence. So do you feel like these guys are creating these one-on-one elements in these leagues because certain people game can't translate over to the NBA?
me
Dwight being
personally,
one of them, probably. Like Dwight don't got the one-on-one skill set to be able to do that.
yeah. But then again, I don't know. No, that's not necessarily true too, Dev. Because beforehand, Dwight Howard, he actually had like kind of like guard skills. He started out as a guard before he got tall. So before coming into the league, coming out of high school, his skill level was basically kind of matched up with kind of like how a LeBron ceiling was. Like they were saying, he had like he was nice. You know what I'm saying? Like he had an all around package. He could shoot, he could dribble, he could do all of this. But when he got to the league, they wanted him to be dominant like Shaq. So his skill set changed. But I don't think he had the skill level to be a one-on-one player like, you know, Beasley, Lance, Kyrie, all of them. But he
No,
had the
but what
skill
let me just
Right,
elaborate on
right.
what I mean. Let me elaborate
Yeah.
what I mean real quick, because I feel like y'all not understand what I'm saying. I'm saying like you see how Lance, Beasley, Kyrie, 1-on-1, right? Lance was an okay average NBA player. He was almost a star at one point, but his game doesn't translate well in the NBA because he's a 1-on-1 player. So that's what I'm asking you
That's what.
guys.
Right.
So
Do you,
these
you do you
types of
do you
these
feel like it's
types
a
of
cop
Yeah.
out for them?
It's
it's not
it's
a cop out. I think it's just
Yeah.
it just gives us a different like
Different
element
team. Yeah.
different element to love the game of basketball. So if we looking at like 1-on-1s, 3-on-3s, like not everybody could play 5-on-5 full court under the whistle with, but that 3-on-3 Utah type setup, I think that's where a Lance Stevenson can really show off his skill set. Not that he can't show it
But
off in the big, on the big stage.
I ain't gonna say that. I feel like they just limited to what they can do in the NBA.
Mm,
So there's a lot
hmm.
of them players that can really get busy. They just can't. They're not allowed to. You know what I'm saying? If Lance was given the throne like how LeBron gets the green light and everybody else, I promise you, he'll cook at least 80% of the NBA.
like
Well,
like
That's a
like
stretch.
I
That's a
said,
stretch.
like I said, I'm being the elder statesman. If you look at it, you go back where Magic, Isaiah Thomas, Jordan, Joe Dumars, Stephon Marbury, for Steve Francis, Baron Davis. If you go through the league, a lot of these guys are great one-on-one players. Like everything, sometimes you got to go one-on-one in the league, but it's so everything is so systematic. It takes away from it because you look at it like I'm just watching this documentary the other day, like and one. Just think about it. If you could incorporate how and one was with a combination of NBA, it'd be something quite crazy. You allowing them to get you street balling is coming back. No matter how they think about it, and no matter how they look about it in the NBA, because it's the transition is stale. So I'm glad these leagues are coming out. I'm so happy these leagues are coming out because the NBA is starting to get stale. It's no real, oh, I'm enthused. I'm running to the thing to watch the game. No, you used to watch and one because of the tricks, the dunks, the excitement, the crowd. We all grew up with say Kev, you caught a nice dunk. We all running on the basketball court. Oh, we going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Or you got floored and somebody got now we're missing the celebration of basketball.
So
Yeah.
We
you
don't
Hmm.
talking about the culture. You talking about the
yeah,
real
we're not
ball
celebrating.
culture.
Yeah.
That's
I think it top down.
We're not celebrating. The one-on-one is what made all of us love basketball. That's what made us love basketball. Coming outside, yo, you got to guard Willis Love. You got to guard Rome. You got to guard Dev. Clear out. Remember, come on. How many times you say that in the park?
yeah.
Yo,
Yeah,
clear it
clear
out.
it out.
Clear it out. One-on-one.
ISO.
ISO. ISO.
Or
That's the love of the game. Like he said, that's
I'm
that
on the
one-on-one.
island.
You on
Yeah.
the island. It
Yeah.
wasn't
You know what I think
way
it really
before.
boils down to also is like the fact that it's a stat game. You know, the league is all about stats and ratings.
FanDuel.
So
FanDuel.
yeah. So it's like stats and ratings. If you're a plus minus player, you good. You know what I'm saying? Like if you always in the plus, you good. Because now you're benefiting towards either the wins to the team success or just the market success of the sport. So if you're a one-on-one player, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, you getting mad dribbles and mad possessions over the star player because we know you could do that. that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like it's messed up at the end of the day because like there's 15 guys on that bench and they all got drafted. You know what I'm saying? Or they all got signed at one point and they all have a skill to from 1 to 15 can torch anybody if they get the chance to. You know what I'm saying? But because of the fact that such a stat driven league, you just can't never see one on one the way we want to see it now that it's happening outside of the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, so I got another question for you guys then. So how come, right? These guys are so great individually one on one. How come some of these guys are not in the league, right? Because they could put the ball in the basket, but how come these guys are not making their teams better? What could be the reason why?
I think personally, it's just because they low key. Well, in today's age, a lot of these players have star power beyond being on an NBA team. So like when they get to an NBA team, say like right now, Lance Beasley was to sign to an NBA team. Whatever team they on will be way more excited to see what they're gonna do for the first few possessions than what the actual star gonna do. And then it's gonna be like, yo, you're gonna really want to defer to them, and they already kind of passed their primes and stuff like that. So it's kind of like you don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Like on the national stage, like imagine that. Like you like every time I seen Beasley return to the league, I was more excited to watch either the Rockets, the Bucks. Like when he came back for them, the Lakers, the Knicks. I was excited to see him versus seeing the team. You know what I'm saying? But like even for Lance, when Lance came back in the league during COVID, I was mad excited to see Lance playing back on the Pacers. Even when he played on the Hawks, I was like, yo, and I never watched the Hawks game. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch a Hawks game with Lance playing. But again, it did nothing really for him in a sense because it's like he didn't really like have the effect that he wanted to have there. Plus, he was already hobbled. And then, like, again, it's just like he didn't really benefit towards winning. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I for what I think it really is, it's just like, they're big brand players, but they just can't fit into these systems now because these systems are being ran by players and coaches that gel together. Like they're growing them together. And if you bring them back into the fold, it's kind of like if you're not on that time and you kind of you won't fit in seamlessly. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think it's just whoever got the biggest name, that's where the highlights are going to go, and then every other player with the skill set is just going to get snubbed under the rug? Hence why these 3-on-3s, these 1-on-1s are in full effect now. Like
maybe
I thought they were just going to. I mean,
they could be blackballed because they're still skilled at their age and this level. Because it like if you could stay right now, you could put Lance in over McBride for the Knicks, and you know how effective Lance could possibly be. But then you also know how McBride is effective too. But there's a conversation to be had because Lance is physical. He can score. He can rebound. He can pass. Everything.
But history says he's not. So when he was on the Pacers, he was a plus player. He was always a plus player. After he left the Pacers, he was always a minus player because he became a selfish more player. Right. So like a McBride, he would be more successful in today's league because he's a 3-and-D guy.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not really like a highlight reel. I'm gonna cross you up, lay the ball up, play the guitar, run back down the court type of player. So same thing with Beasley. Like when Beasley first came into the league, before he even came into the league in college, Beasley was. A lot of people was saying Beasley was the best player. Like
Beasley is one of the top dudes.
He's one of the
top dudes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's different.
They say he's one of the top hardest players to guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think KD said that.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, yeah, but
Rick, like, nah, I'm about to lock him
up. Bro.
Rick.
Nah, you wilding, bro. I feel like the hardest player that they ultimately, besides KD, 1-on-1 was Carmelo Anthony, bro. Ain't nobody. Melo was walking through people, bro. It was walking through people, bro. In an era
and he did it. So Rick, I'm glad you said that, Rick, because that's what I mean. Like he did it, and it translated well in the NBA. He didn't win a championship. The Knicks made the playoffs a couple of times, but it translated well enough to keep him in the NBA.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. What was the problem with these players that it
The
didn't
mental
translate
aspect.
well?
It's the mental aspect at that point because now you
Yeah.
think about it. If
Uh-huh.
if it didn't transfer over that way, right? Like with Lance in his situation, being on the Pacers early in his career, playing behind Paul George, and then somewhat about to be a star, but he always had to defer. You know what I'm saying? Like it was never a time when Lance got the keys to go full. Like yo, boy, ready. This is your team. Go. When he got the keys, is that's when he went to Charlotte, and I don't know.
He crashed the
He
car.
had one play where he dunked on Al Jefferson, was it, or Al
Yeah.
Horford?
But
Al Jefferson, right?
he could have went up from that point on.
Yo, he
Could have went
finished
up from
him.
that point
Boom,
on.
dunked on him and made him retire. Right? Oh wow, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that in the bingo cards. After that, I don't know what happened in Charlotte. Right? He leaves Charlotte, whatever case may be. Beasley, same thing, situation. It was a clip that I just recently watched. He got a dunk on Pau Gasol. He wilded out, said some nonsense to Pau Gasol, got a tech. Spoelstra tight. Obviously, you causing trouble now in the midst of you playing the game, but not for nothing. That's your natural thing. Like Beasley gonna do that, but at the same time, right now, I'm trying to run this ship, trying to figure it out, I'm trying to get another ring under the Pat Riley era. Like while he still could potentially replace me at this point. So it's like when you dealing with kind of like it's kind of like messed up to say, but like when you dealing with like knuckleheads in a sense that like kind of just don't want to like listen and buy into the system while they can and they prime early, it makes it hard. And it's sad that people judge them off of that. Like instead of just understanding their heart, like yo, these are
Mhm.
people that truly love the sport. Like stop, allowing their actions to dictate what the future could be for them because right now you're blocking a star. You know what I'm saying? If they would have let Beasley off the leash, even if they let him off the leash in Minnesota or Phoenix, he'd have been good.
You know
If they
what,
didn't let
Rome,
huh?
and I'm not denying your point at all, but like when you look at, let's say, Beasley or guys like that who have the skill set and the potential to be like great players, part of what they are supposed to do because they're professionals, they're not just ball players like me, you, like we're ball players, but these are professionals. So part of, I guess, what they needed to do was cage that animal that they had where they could like wow out. There's a place for that. And if they more or less let their game speak, hence why, like when you see LeBron celebrations, right? Or you see um you Curry celebrations, they're more like subtle versus
Last year,
if they were to like still play the same way, but professionally express that, yo, I just killed you mentality, that probably could have swayed how the media could have looked at them and then put them in a different light
that
But
is
but
because they
true.
still got to be
but
professional.
but Dev, I ain't gonna front. I mean to cut you off.
No,
But
no,
also that comes from childhood. You get what I'm saying? Like he still got like harness a lot of like anger towards like not being able to control his aggression the proper ways and stuff like
yeah.
that. It stems from that. Like I ain't gonna front. Like even me
And
coming up,
and
like I
coaching
ain't gonna lie,
too.
it's the
I
same
would say
thing. Like
coaching
bro,
too, Rick.
Coaching is supposed to do that too.
It's
Yeah.
I would
mental
say
health.
coaching
yeah.
too. Yeah.
There's
It does.
nobody there to
But all
like to
that plays
guide
a
them.
part, a major part in your adult life though. The problems
100%.
that you have from a child, it travels with you if it's not corrected at a certain
Yeah,
age point. So
you
like
got to check that.
yeah, bro, if it's not checked in the bud, whatever you have to do to check that, you're gonna have ultimately be an emotional, uncontrollable man. You're always gonna
But
carry your
that's
emotions.
why we
Same thing.
can't
Look at Kanye
see.
West, bro. Kanye,
That's why
a prime
that's why we
example.
can't
Kanye.
see greats at their greatest. Like we just like, dad, they elite, they nice. That's all we could say. We can't put them in conversations with goats, or we can't put them in conversations with. It's like all we could say about a Kanye West, Beasley's like, yo, they just mad nice. I wish they would, and then finish the sentence.
You know
But
what's
yeah,
No,
crazy? Just
but
to circle back what Dev was saying too,
Mhm.
like the professionalism, right? That
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
That's a
because
big
like
thing.
I think a lot of these one-on-one players, what they always get lost about is that they are a brand. They always get lost with that. When they're in the NBA, Soon as you step onto that floor, you're a brand. You're some kind of brand to some company, some people, whoever.
Somehow,
So
some way, or you're a potential brand.
you're a potential brand, right? So even to the team that you're playing for, when you get on the court and you do that celebration, right? But you're not winning the
It looked
game,
crazy. It
it
looked.
just looks a certain way. Like, yo, why are we putting you
What are
in the
you doing?
game? You know, like, what are you really doing out here that you're
You're
not even
doing that
helping
to
us win?
lose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're doing too
like
much. You're doing it to lose.
I think
what
honestly,
Kobe
you
said.
got
What
to
Kobe
say
said. Game not finished.
right. I
Yeah,
think for
game not finished.
but to say that, to say what you just said, to piggyback off of that, is when you get into the league, right? What most people should do when they get into the league is hire a life coach, get a
Hundred
therapist.
percent.
I
Hundred
would
percent.
like as soon as like if I know I'm about to come into an insane amount of money in cash and
On camera. It's not just
on
the money. It's on
yeah,
you on
like on
cam now.
camera,
Yep.
I'm about to be in front of. Even though, like, if I already my whole life I done did this, you know, I've been prepped and coached for it. But bro, this is different. This is a different. This is life changing money. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
you,
For a
you better
job that
have
you
a
love to
you
do,
better have a bug in your ear at
you
all
need a
times telling people
yo,
what to
you
But
need a
say.
therapist, bro. You need a therapist. You need a mental health coach.
You need
You need somebody to
you need
walk with
yo,
you
a whole
hand in
roster.
hand. Please hold me by
Mm-hmm.
my hand and walk me through this because right now I'm spiraling, and that's exactly what be happening to these players. They be spiraling. They get all of this. Next, thing you know, like for what Beasley said, like he said, "Yo, when I looked at my finances, everybody stole from me." He said, even down to his mother that passed away. You know, God rest her soul. But
but
at the same
Crazy.
time, it's like at the end of the
damn,
day, he dealing with that behind closed doors and using basketball hours as his outlet. So when he got on the court and he turned to this, you know, to this monster on the court, the eye didn't perceive it. They like, yo, why is this guy doing this? He's wilding, he's bugging, he's crazy. But he's really using basketball as
To
therapy.
channel it, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it messes people up because you don't understand, you make me feel like I'm crazy for what I do understand you think is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Rome, we should just
yeah,
hire you to be his life coach, bro. You sound
yeah,
I
you
you
would
kicking
love
should.
that.
bars right now.
I
Like
feel you,
I ain't
bro.
gonna front. That would be yo,
Rome
Rome would
got
be great
bars.
at
Like,
that,
yo,
bro.
put that
Tell
man
But
you,
on the
yo,
bro.
Rome,
stand,
you
see him on the
Rome, you know
light.
what's crazy about what you saying, Rome? I love what you saying, but you know what happens, man. It be those people like you can't tell them nothing, bro. Like you say it to them and you can't tell them nothing because you ain't done it. You know, and
Well,
I hate that it's like that. I
yeah,
really
but I think
do. Cause
it just stems from the fact that like again, like you ain't done it, but then also we ain't experienced what they've been there to get to there. So it's like,
mm-hmm,
yeah, you're right, bro. Like if like that's like right now, you know what I'm saying? Like I can have a conversation with a dude and I can say, yeah, bro, I grew up fighting my whole life. He said, but I grew up in the military and I had to, you know what I'm saying,
I had to do
unalive.
some
Like,
things.
yeah,
I had to do
and
some
then it's
things.
like the conversation is kind of like stuck. Like, yo, like I mean, I had to fight, but I didn't have to fight for America like that. Like, you
I
know
didn't
what
have to
I'm saying?
kill kids and
Yeah,
bomb.
like
Like,
you know what I'm
no.
saying? Like I didn't have to do that, but like I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. So like I like right there, it's just a short stop right there because like I could have a conversation with him like, yo, I don't want to feel like to be a baller, feel trapped in a circle. No, you don't. You're right. I only play football. You know what I mean?
exactly, exactly, yeah, exactly,
So
exactly what I'm
it's
saying.
kind of like dang, like so I get it when if he in that circle or in that space and somebody trying to control him and don't really know exactly what it is because they never experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't
Mm-hmm,
come to me with a suit and tie on and tell me you from where I'm from and not have no type of backing for that. Like, bro, you can't tell me you had
mm-hmm.
a hard life and then and I do my research on you and I heard you went to Harvard and you never had to struggle in your life, bro. Even though we
And
lived
but
on the same block.
Real talk. At the end of the day, when you get to whatever position you at, nobody cares about your past.
Exactly.
Where
Mm-hmm.
you are, they want to see you perform, and that
Yeah.
whether it's on a controlling yourself professionally or in basketball players case, you got to do both. You got like a multifaceted dual role, right? So you're not
Yeah.
just playing ball
You
on
gotta
an
be a Swiss
elite
Army
level,
knife.
but now you gotta show showmanship, sportsmanship. Even if you want to show off a little bit of your personality and you got
You gotta
that,
be stoic. Like
blowing in people's
yeah.
ear kind of, if you want to be like funny, you could do that, but it has to be on a professional level, right? So just
Right.
like
Yeah,
any job, you
gotta
go
be
to your job,
professional.
you're not gonna like curse and make like sex jokes in front of your supervisor. No, you gonna make a joke that's like, hey, I went into the store the one day and you tell some corny dad joke. Like that's
Right.
the kind of thing. It's
But
professional, it's laughable, and then people move on.
but
To get
I'm
buttered
gonna
by
tell you,
the guy.
I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing y'all all saying is what y'all saying in sports as well as entertainment. The first thing on your contract that you sign and that you sign away from that people don't realize is your freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That's it.
Your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression, your freedom as a whole. Us as black men don't express ourselves like we want to because we're not afforded the platform to do it because we're mic'd, we're censored. A lot of guys who grew up in the inner cities, yo, man, we come from a drug dealing era where everybody was hustling and stuff like that. Drug dealers pay for 95% of our tournaments. And people don't even pay attention to that. We didn't get sponsorships. We didn't get people coming down from Manhattan. No, we had the drug dealers. They gave us kids something to do because they didn't want us wilding out. We get into this era now, sponsors tell you what to do. Back in the days, they didn't care. They wanted y'all to play ball. Let's win the trophy. Let's bring the trophy back to the crib, to the house, stuff like that. We was playing with T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't
With the
playing with
right
jersey.
with the Sharpie on the number Sharpie
Exactly.
on the back.
Along the line, like y'all was saying,
Nah, facts.
it's 12 to 15 people on a roster. You was nice somewhere along the line, whether it was a
Yep.
one-on-one. You was nice somewhere because you didn't make the league not being nice. I don't care what. Like Brian Scalabrine was a role player his whole career, but you take him outside,
He
he's
gonna
gonna
cook.
cook the average dude. He's gonna cook the average dude because
Facts.
I watched Mitchell Robinson highlights on YouTube a week ago. I was like, oh, where was this Mitchell Robinson during the playoffs?
Yeah, he's
Dri- Dribbling, shooting. Like, hold up, this is crazy.
Washington
It's
Wizards, bro. It was crazy.
it's censorship. Like y'all said, y'all was saying everything. Y'all was hitting it on the head. Lance Stevenson was a star. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it facts. From junior high school to high school, All
To college.
American,
Yep.
college, he was a star. So now you get on the team. Paul George is making the money. He making Lance LeBron is making the money. We don't need you, dog. We don't need you. We just need you for
That's
one reason
tough.
only: to bring the hood. The hood. When Steph went to the Knicks, the ticket sales went up because you brought the hometown kid back to the Garden. That's the
So
craziest thing.
Yeah.
Then what happened
You're
after
right
that?
though.
Steph was out the league. He was out the league. Why? Because he had a nervous breakdown, eating Vaseline and all this other wildness on TV because he didn't have a platform to cry out and tell people what was wrong with him. We so busy worrying about Steph selling shoes, but his mental aspect was breaking him down. Steph, what's going on? Like I said, let's have a conversation. Real guys gonna do real things. Let's have a real conversation. Let's have that's why I love Popovich. I love Popovich because he actually connected with his players. Let's have a conversation. How did he resign Tim Duncan over dinner with a bottle of wine?
that's tough. That's tough.
What happened? Why Tim Duncan never made it to Orlando? Doc Rivers. Oh, I don't want your family on the plane. You're not going to tell me I can't have my family on the plane with me to make me comfortable. And you want me to be the star of your team?
But that's
It
good
doesn't work that
coaching.
way.
Like Kev
We
said, that's
need
good coaching. That's good
platforms.
supervision.
Instead of we don't have to be hood.
Yeah.
Tell your story. Lance, you grew up in the hood. BZ grew up in the hood. Half these people in the NBA grew up in a struggle. They grew up doing something. Like I said, I grew up with drug dealers sponsored our tournaments. I don't care what nigga, nobody can tell me anything. Drug dealers, hustlers, made sure we stayed out the streets because they gave us something to do. They didn't get celebrated because they were drug dealers. But at the end of the day, corporations are the biggest drug dealers in the world because they benefit off our skills. That's why now college players are now going to get paid
Yep.
They're not going to
NIL.
benefit off of us without us getting a piece of the pie there. And like I
Definitely
said,
right.
it's just funny how everybody like, oh, he shouldn't be doing this. But you take away my freedom of speech. How do I feel about losing a championship? How do I feel after golf been somebody in my family died? Y'all want me to go to practice like Iverson said back in the day. My best friend was just murdered. But you want me to sit in here in front of 50 cameras and microphones and talk about practice and losing in the finals? My emotional state is shattered. And people don't get that part. Like
Nope.
Marshawn Lynch said, yo, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But the first thing, like Giannis said, how you think I feel about losing a championship game? Let me tell you the truth. If we were allowed to tell the truth about how we really feel, it'd be totally different.
Yeah, and it sucks that that's just the norm in most cases. You know, like these athletes, they get put on these platforms, like you said, and they're just literally like just like you can't say nothing, and it sucks because at the end of the day, if you're going through something, you should say something. If you're feeling some type of way, you should say something, right? That's normal society, you know what I'm saying, in today's society especially. But back then, like you know, when they came into the league, it was so hush hush for men to feel some type of way. Now, like it was like, yo, like, all right, whatever. Like you somebody passed away, listen, shake it off. You know, you'll be fine. Like,
Get
bro,
back to
what?
work.
Yeah, like people die every day. Be like, nigga, what? No, bro, for me, I need to feel this. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and in today's age, it is way better to express and see how you feel because nowadays, like you'll catch a NBA player cursing during an interview, but they won't get fined for it because nowadays, like the censorship has gone into
Yeah,
another
but
direction. You
Rome,
know
we
what I'm
don't know
saying?
if that's a good thing or a bad thing in this day and age. I heard now that the army, you know that screaming thing that they used to do.
Yeah, they
Yeah, I
made them
hear that.
stop.
I hear them like they pull up a pink card like, no, you're screaming at me, no.
Yeah,
But
that's
these guys like they they're almost like there's a time to speak and a time to vent and things like
yeah.
that. But certain professions kind of need that
That drill
building that
sergeant.
let me
Yeah,
turn you I have to make you hard, I have to make you callous
yeah.
kind of, and I'm not
That
really.
character building. Yeah,
Yeah, so in some sense there's probably a place and a time for certain careers to get that,
yeah.
Well,
notwithstanding that people do need that freedom of speech.
fellas. First of all, I appreciate everybody's 2 cents on this topic because I wanted to do something along mental health, and I think we should still do a episode on that. But just to move along for the people that's tuned in, um, I got a question for you guys regarding this one-on-one topic that we've been talking about. Who do you guys want to see play next? If you had a dream one-on-one, who would it be and why?
What would it be? Let's see.
I ain't gonna lie. I want to see Jamal Crawford versus Kyrie. That'd be the
Wow,
most
you
shiftiest
you
matchup
you
ever.
went in just now.
I
I ain't
would,
gonna lie.
I want to see that.
I
Mm.
would want to
Or
see.
even I would even go as far as to see like I would say like um what's his name? Austin Rivers. I want to see Austin Rivers play 1-on-1. He was a dog. Everybody I know Austin Rivers in college, he was a dog. And he was a dog on the Clippers too. But I want to see him play 1-on-1.
Nah, I would want to see Damian Leonard against Donovan Mitchell.
Nah, I don't want to see that.
That would be crazy, bro.
Nah,
Donovan Mitchell and Damian Leonard, they
nah.
got bro, they got similar games, bro.
Donovan Mitchell's quick step is his is too much, too much.
But you keep thinking that. You keep thinking it's too much.
I mean,
Everybody.
after this injury he just had, it's kind of like if you think Donovan Mitchell can't beat Damian Lillard, like off the dribble, I think he can beat him off the dribble now because of his injury.
No. We talking prime. We talking in your prime. No injuries, no nothing. Dead or
injuries?
alive in your prime. No injuries. Everybody's at 100%.
Oh, all right.
One-on-one. Who y'all want to see?
I want to see
Vince.
KD. I want to see T Mac versus Jordan.
That's
That's
crazy.
tough. That's
I
tough.
ain't
You
gonna
saying
front.
prime everybody, right? Prime
Yeah,
everybody.
everybody's
No
in their
injury.
prime. Everybody's in their prime.
I'm gonna take. Damn.
Prime Melo versus McGrady.
Yeah,
Mm.
now you
That'd be
cheating.
crazy.
Now he
Prime
cheating.
T-Mac versus Prime Melo, that'd be OD.
Melo's probably gonna get smoked. I ain't gonna hold you.
I don't think so.
Against who?
Melo ain't got defense.
But he has
Not
scoring. He
against
get
not
that ball. He
against
get
T
that.
Mac.
But he get that ball first. It's over.
I'm
You
going.
know how
I'm
Melo give it
going.
up.
I'm going prime D Wade. You know I'm going D Wade. I'm
Right, I was
going
about to say
prime
you.
D Wade versus prime Bean Kobe. I don't care. Do we need answers? I'm going
need
prime
answers.
D Wade. We need
We
answers.
got the answer.
Nah, we
got
need
the-
answers. Rick and Dev, no, we need answers. I'm going prime D Wade, prime Bean. That's what I want to see. Who was really close to the mic? That's what I want to
You
see.
talking about 81 Kobe
Yep.
against? Give me your best Wade.
06. 06 Wade.
He gonna get smoked.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's that. They're a lot closer than you guys think, man.
I'm not denying that, but you cannot stop. You cannot stop a man that scores 81 in that era ever.
Listen, we talking one-on-ones,
One-on-one?
different element. Like you guys said, different element. Right? There's no picks.
I'm
There's
talking
no
about a one-on-one king. He's one of the one-on-one kings. He ain't trying to lose. Come on, Kev. Come on,
You said
Kev.
one-on-ones?
Well, I'm going prime D Wade and Kobe. That's my dream matchup. I've seen them go one-on-one in game for a few plays. Not like a full-blown game.
But
I mean, Kobe has the advantage. Kobe has the advantage with the height, and he's a little bit better of a
They're only
shooter.
about an inch. He's only about an inch or two. He ain't got that much of a height.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go prime Steve Francis, Donovan Mitchell.
Ooh,
Facts.
that's tough. See, Donovan Mitchell is a better shooter, way better shooter.
He is.
Steve Francis is a better ball handler, and he was a very crafty scorer. But I think Mitchell's more skilled all around. That's tough. That's tough right there. That's tough. Because Steve Francis' athleticism was crazy. He was athletic too.
And what about Prom Bird? And who else would I put? And KD.
My man,
What? KD is cooking him. KD is cooking him.
He
is cooking him. He is cooking him.
Bro, what's up, bro? Where you at, son?
KD is cooking him.
Where you at, bro?
He's gonna destroy him.
We'll hop in there real quick. We need your assistance. We need the OG assistance.
KD is cooking prime Larry Bird. Y'all wild.
Yeah, we not okay.
Y'all
you not. That's not even a matchup possible. Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
Wildin'.
Let's stop it. I would like a prime T Mac against any one of them. A prime T Mac without injuries.
So it looks like T Mac is like the winner right now. T Mac against anybody right now.
Nah, you tripping? What about what's the name off the Blazers? Remember? Brandon Roy, bro. He was crazy.
T Mac. I'm giving you T Mac.
Bro.
T Mac.
Yo, Brandon Roy was wild, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
No, Brandon Roy was nice.
I give T Mac his flowers. He was nice. I ain't gonna front. He was way better than Kobe before the injuries and shit. I'm gonna keep
No. I'm not gonna say that. We're gonna stop that comment right.
I'm not gonna say way better.
Yeah, he wasn't
not gonna say way better.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
He was nice enough for Kobe himself to say that. Yo, he is tough.
Kobe's my favorite player, bro, ever. Right? I don't put nobody before Kobe, but I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. Skill for skill.
That was the next best thing.
Yo,
that's why I said I wanted
T-Mac was
6'10", bro.
T-Mac was the truth. He was the truth, bro.
Yo,
if he wasn't
but I'm
his
gonna put
back
respect
injuries,
on Kobe name though some more. My bad, but
I'll
it's a fact though.
I'll throw a name out there. Y'all want to see prime Darren Williams versus somebody?
I would say prime D Will versus prime Chris Paul. and they always had their battles anyways. But I want to see them one on one. So I want them to take away the playmaking element. I want to see them score against each other. That's a little different for me.
Or
That's
Jermaine
why I would go
Nelson, too. Throw him in there too.
with him.
Jermaine Nelson, Monte Ellis.
But
Hey, so or you could put and nah, that isn't even gonna work. I was about to say D Will Steve Nash, but it's not gonna. Yeah.
Hell no. What? Darren Williams is too big. He smoked Nash every time he played him.
nah, listen, y'all got let's take away the aspect of the league. You talk about one on one. That's the main question we keep asking now. Remember, the rules changed one on one. Nash was definitely good. Like, I'm keeping it real. Yeah, everybody keep talking about Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a dog, bro.
Yeah, he was. Nice.
He was a killer. He liked playing one on one. He was a killer. Once again, injuries, bro. Injuries.
Low back injury.
Yeah, I still wouldn't pick him over KD, but definitely
no way in the world unless you high as a kite. You can't pick him over.
Nah, that's a fact. But I just would want to see as a fan. I would want to see that type of game, bro. Like that one on one. That's gonna be tenacity, bro. I promise you, it's not gonna be easy.
I got a good one. I got a good one for
bro.
y'all. Controversial one too. I got a good one. I want to see 97, 98 Jordan versus 2018 LeBron James.
Smoked.
Nah, that's
Smoke one on one.
Nope. Smoke.
1-on-1. 2018
Smoke.
LeBron James.
Yo,
That's
LeBron.
funny.
Hold
LeBron.
on. Before you jump into the gun, right? LeBron is not even a one-on-one player, bro. That scoring is not his first
Well, we know that.
thing, bro. Right?
All right, Rick.
Jordan-
Rick, let me
Yo,
let me give you a rebuttal to that. LeBron is not a one-on-one player.
Yeah.
He has the most points ever. He's not
That's
a
'cause he
one-on-one
played
player.
the longest, bro. He played. Yo, he's 40 years old, bro.
Who else played? Who else played 20 seasons? Vince Carter, Dirk
Carter.
But Vince
Nowitzki,
Carter
Kevin
wasn't a
Garnett,
star of this
Michael-
team, bro.
Michael Jordan came back at 40. Still didn't, bro.
Yo,
Nah, I don't want to hear
Nah,
longevity.
Okay,
He
all right.
averaged
Let's
25.
But let's
22
look at
years.
this. All right, you gotta look at it like this. No.
Nah.
You, Kev, you got a valid question, but here's what you gotta look at it like this. Know why I use as an example of this? Kevin Love. Kevin Love was on Minnesota for goddamn how long? Being the number one scorer, being the number one all-star, everything. When you that guy on the team where everybody defers to you all the time, that's what we talked about before. Like while Lance and them guys ain't never get their flowers. Everything is deferred to the stars. You talk about errors with I'm not talking about the scoring title, all that one-on-one. Everybody in the league was a one-on-one player somewhere along the line. You had to play somebody one-on-one to prove a point.
Right.
Let's just. I'm not talking about the league, and I'm pretty sure LeBron. I'm not a LeBron fan, but I'm not going to sit up here and convince myself that he's not a one-on-one player because I'm pretty sure he's a one-on-one player because they do pick up games outside of the league. They definitely do pick up games. So let's not say he's not a one-on-one player. You talking about skill-wise, body set, compare Jordan to LeBron. LeBron will be bigger than Jordan. Whereas Jordan's offensive mindset is different from LeBron's. That's the difference. Jordan I want to win. You're right. He came back later on in his age, but Jordan wanted to win. I'm not doing nothing else but trying to win. They one-on-one basketball is it's different. You gotta guard me. It's no zone. It's no help defense. It's one-on-one. And you talk about one of the greatest, if not the greatest, offensive scorer in NBA. Okay, let's just think about that. Jump shot phenomenal. Going to the hole is phenomenal. You gotta guard him. It's like don't say like let's sit up here and I'm saying like Jordan didn't have a handle because he had one. You gotta guard this man. This guy.
But you also have to guard LeBron.
No, I was about to. I was going to get to that part.
Yeah,
but
you gotta guard him at 270.
But now here's my question to y'all. Jordan made how many all defensive teams? How many? How many LeBron? How many LeBron made? It's a difference.
LeBron made a couple of defensive teams. Jordan made more for sure.
Right.
But Jordan was on better defensive teams. He had Scottie Pippen. He had a lot of people that played defense on his team.
Hold on.
Horace Grant. all those
No,
people played D. It wasn't like they didn't
no,
play
no, hold
D.
on, no. We talk about we talk about one on one. It's we be out. Listen, like I said, let's go back to the essence. We all played in the park one on one. The biggest dude didn't dominate the game. If you ain't, you could pick your pocket. We start all over again. We talk about different rules, different mindset. I wouldn't put Jordan and LeBron one on one. Actually, I wouldn't even do that. Personally speaking, know what I'm saying? If anything, know why I would put one on one with LeBron? Let's see if he really about that life. I'll put Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman against
Yeah.
LeBron one on one. Because Dennis Rodman was a scorer his whole life in high school and college until he got to Detroit. And he guarded big men and shut big men down. That would be a nice one on one. Let me see Dennis Rodman
Yeah.
or against LeBron James.
So
Defensive minded.
just to backpedal what you said, because that is a good one on one, but we're not going to downgrade the one on one like LeBron can't take Jordan one on one. Because first of all, people who got this myth like Jordan never got cooked. Cap, he got cooked. I'm tired of y'all
Nah, he
saying
got
that.
cooked.
He definitely got cooked mad times. Like so, all of that like Jordan.
Yo, I ain't gonna front.
Hold
In
on,
order
hold
for
on,
you
hold
to be
on. Wait, we not just
great
going, we not
defensive
just
player,
going.
bro.
Hold on, Rick. We not just
He
going to say
got
Jordan got.
cooked.
Wait,
I'm
hold
saying.
on.
He
We not
got
just gonna say
Iverson
he got
bait.
cooked.
Sharif Abdul Rahim cooked. It was a lot.
Got it.
Joe
Look,
Dumars cooked. It was a lot of
look,
people that
so
cooked Jordan.
you're right. There's a lot of people. How many
He
of
got
those? A
he
lot of
got work
people.
from the mailman, bro.
I got it.
Let's
Stop.
I got it.
let's
And
go,
he
Will's
got work
law.
from all these
Yeah,
people.
let's go 3
Now,
a.m.
when you tell me about all these people that Jordan got worked from, you probably gonna name one or two instances.
Right. Not a regular basis.
This
Not
is
a
not a
regular.
regular thing that Jordan. Everybody get
Yeah.
cooked once in a while
All right.
Yes,
by one
everybody.
person.
But yeah,
But
what you about to
also
say?
too,
Everybody getting the wrong
the
point?
NBA is different. It's more skilled players. It is different. Everybody back then wasn't as one on one as it is now. You didn't have a KD back then.
No, I think they
Teamed
all
up with a
Yes, you did.
Steph.
That
bro,
was
No,
Yes, you
you
did.
did not have a
Yes, you
you did
did.
not have a KD teamed up with a Steph and a Clay. You did not have that. You did
You
not
had a
have that
K.
back then.
You okay? All right. Let's go back now. Let's now. Y'all want to go back into it?
they
It
had
was.
them. They had them
They
guys.
y'all they
They
had them
definitely
guys.
had them
They did
guys.
I want to
because
say they
especially
It's just because
Portland.
the NBA is
yeah.
different now. That's why you see
Yeah,
them more.
you gotta look at it. Depends on what y'all saying skill set wise compared to skill set back then. You understand what I'm saying? Because it was a more team concept back then.
Yeah.
Now everybody had to touch the ball back in the days. Everybody only one that was ball dominant. If you look at it, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins,
Clyde Drexler. All
Shaquille,
these guys.
Clyde Drexler, who don't
And,
get no props like he should.
and Arvidas Sabonis. He
So
was nice too.
no. We gonna
Whoa,
stop that
whoa,
right now.
whoa,
We
whoa,
Hold
we
on,
gonna
gang.
whoa,
stop
Hold on,
that.
whoa,
hold on,
whoa,
hold on.
whoa,
No,
Because
whoa.
before, wait a minute, hold on. Before he got to
no.
the United States, he was nice.
We we not
Okay,
we're
We're not
not
talking about that.
we're not talking the European League
I'm
because
he was nice.
when he no, but when he came over to the United States, the, he wasn't the young Sabonis in Europe getting busy.
No,
He was the old Sabonis getting dunked on left and right in here because he was a joke when he got to the league, bro. He was a shell of himself. He wasn't the same Sabonis back when he was
When he
the
was like
European
30,
MVP
yeah,
4 or 5.
20.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
he had like
It's a very big difference
a
because
Jokic.
he got Joker. He's playing the era where he can't get physical with him. And he was in an era where people could body up on him like they did Shaq, Elijah Warren, David Robinson. It's a big
It's
difference.
different.
Yeah.
It's no more big men in this league. I'm gonna keep it 100. It's no more dominant big men in
Yo,
the post
when was the
players.
last time you seen somebody in the post really backing them down?
Giannis. Giannis is the only dude
Giannis,
that goes
Anthony
only
Davis.
one.
Giannis and Anthony
That's
Davis.
wild.
They run the lane.
Right.
That's
But
wild.
it's nobody with their back to the basket
I
no
haven't
more.
seen a post up in like
Word.
3 years straight.
I mean,
Word of mother.
during the playoffs, Cat did do it a few times, and he was effective.
No,
And
Did
that
he
please don't
back
mention it.
down? Did he back down and fade out
Don't
to a
you
jump
yeah,
shot?
don't you
no.
Do
He
that.
backed
don't
down.
you mention that guy. Don't you mention that guy. Don't you
He
mention
was
that guy.
backed
No,
up,
no, 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 no,
man.
no, no, no. No, but hold on. So who Doc, tell who back then was KD, was T Mac, and was a LeBron back then? Who?
Okay, hold on. Dominique Wilkins was a T-Mac.
No way.
He was
No way.
averaging 30. Hold on.
100%.
No
Hold
way.
on. Hold
No
on.
way.
Oh, hold on.
Did not
You
have the
talk
shot.
about
No way.
hold on.
No way.
Look at
bro.
hold on. You asked me a question.
You
You
know,
look at they scoring. You look at Dominique Wilkins scoring. Only one who beat Dominique Wilkins in scoring titles was Jordan. Look it up and look at Dominique was at 30s like it wasn't nothing.
Dominique was he was averaging 30s like it was
he had-
nothing. He did not have the skill set of a T-Mac, bro. Y'all
It's,
wow.
hold on.
Wait, you're
It's
not
a,
talking about
no,
the skill set of a teammate. You said who
we not
was the
talking
teammate.
skill.
Dev.
Y'all going from
Dev, you
one on ones.
Put T-Mac in that era, he would average 40.
It depends
40.
on hold up. No. It
Wait,
depends.
hold up.
No. It depends on the defensive era. Remember, this era, even T Mac going into the 90s, the 2000s,
Will be tough.
they started transitioning from hand checking,
Yep.
fouls, stuff like that. Now you talk about an era where, like you talking about T Mac would average 40, Jordan and Iverson probably average 60 in this era.
Easily.
No, they would not because they don't shoot the ball at a high enough volume. They would not. They don't
would
shoot the
learn
three
to
ball
shoot
as
the
well.
ball.
No, they
it's
would not.
It's
They
not
would
about
not.
shooting. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, Willis. I'm gonna ask you a question. Why did OKC win the other night?
Turnovers. Indiana
Jalen
Pacers,
Williams-
too many
Jalen-
turnovers.
The score is
Jalen-
100.
Many
No.
turnovers. They had 19
Jalen-
turnovers in the first half.
Hold on.
Turnovers.
What did the
I want
score
you to.
say?
I want
What
y'all
was
to
the score?
check the stats of Jalen Williams.
10.
How many jump shots compared to layups? Just look at his layup
Here's-
chart.
The layup percentage is like this big nowadays in modern.
Yes,
Everything's a
right.
jump shot, and
Right.
half of those jump shots.
No,
are
but
threes.
he asked me why did they win? I said they won because the Indiana Pacers had 19
And-
turnovers in the first half.
and-
Because in the
and-
third quarter, the Indiana Pacers were still in the game. That's so
Jalen Williams.
I get what y'all
Jalen
saying,
Williams-
but
Jalen, you talking about the Steph Curry, let's shoot 1,000,000 era compared to let's go to the post era. You talking about an era where, in this era where people are going to the hole and passing them layups for threes.
Straight up, they'll literally dribble.
Yo,
down to the hole.
you,
If they're not dunking,
and
they'll walk
pick
it
it
back
out.
out.
but we
Jordan
can't.
and them
What we
never gave
can
up
do-
layups. They went
but
to the
what-
hole.
But what we can't do is we can't fabricate make believe stats like they would have did this in this era. I'm going off of like what they averaged, and if you put it in that era, they would have doubled that because the defense is different, the speed is different, the skill is different. I'm not saying, oh, you put
think
Jordan
the
in here
defense
now,
wouldn't have-
he's gonna
you
get
think-
fouled 80 times a game. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you put what
That's
Jordan
gonna
did
happen.
and you input it in today's game, it does not
will
translate the
average
same
90.
way.
He'll average.
Yes,
How?
it does.
How? He
Because-
did not shoot the three ball well. How?
He's
going to the
okay,
cup.
but exactly because I
He's
get
going
more
to the
and
cup.
ones. I'll get more and ones than threes. What's your
He's going
average?
to
What's
the-
the what's
every
right.
dunk, every layup Jordan had, he would have been on the line.
yeah?
Let me
You
ask
talk
y'all a
about-
question. Let me ask y'all a question, and this is going to validate my point right here.
Yeah,
How come LeBron James was the youngest to every point milestone?
what does that even mean?
So he was the youngest
to
to
your
10,000, 20,000, 30,000. The reason why he was the
Because-
youngest to that milestone is because the way they scored the ball is different in every era. That's why.
And it's
So
and it's
He
also
just happened
it's
to by default
it's the
fall into a
defense.
category.
it's a defensive. It's a non-physical defensive league. That's the difference. That's what made certain players what they were back in the days. Shaq dominated, and they changed the rules because he became so dominant.
Impossible
Because
to stop.
they couldn't stop him. So they went from 1-on-1 to zone defense. Now, because of FanDuel and how bettings are, like y'all said, stats, you can't touch nobody no more. You can't breathe on a player no more. Steph Curry and them shoot 100,000 threes. T-Mac and them was going to the hole back in the days. This is a whole different era of defense. You think Joker would
Like,
average a triple double if somebody actually could put hands on him and stop him? No.
but
You-
the
'cause you
skill
can't-
level is
Dwight Howard
different.
hands on him,
Yo, y'all wildin'. No big
Nah,
men
you're
back
right.
then
The
was
skill
shooting like
level.
that.
No,
Was
Yeah.
passing
Elijah
like
Paul-
that.
Right.
No.
hold
He
on.
wasn't shooting.
So you
Hakeem
tell-
was not shooting the three like
so you telling
Joker
me-
be shooting the
So
three.
you're telling me Joker will cook Olajuwon and David Robinson in them?
I didn't say he would cook them. I'm saying you guys are saying he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that. How? His skill level is way better.
Yeah,
How?
but no, the skill level, yes. Defense, no.
The
It's
defense
a
would stop
different.
that skill. The
Yes,
defense back then will stop
yeah,
the skill level.
yeah.
Now,
You talk about the no. You talk about non-layup rules. You wasn't coming to the hole just diving and dunking. That was a
you're
it was
not
a
you're
no
not getting no
go.
shots off like that.
Yeah, you
So
was a
Well, the White
so
Howard did that
that
too.
makes the era better because you could get punched in the face. That's what I'm
no,
asking
no.
you guys.
It
Yes, a
didn't
little
make
bit,
it.
a little bit. I'm
It
saying
did.
that.
No, it does not, bro.
No,
No, it
it
does
doesn't.
not, bro.
It doesn't make
No.
it better. It just tells you the transition from defense is okay. I got a perfect example for you. It's just like football. Just like
Mhm.
football. Everybody growing up in football, they wanted the best defensive player, the hardest hitting player on defense until they've said we could make more money with the
Score.
offensive guys
Yeah.
scoring. That's why they changed the rules. If you pay attention to football, which is the biggest example of how sports changes, you can't even touch a person no more. You can't tackle like you supposed to. Back in the days, we're taught grab the jersey, take them down, hit them,
Right.
take them down.
In
You,
3 years they're gonna have no more NFL. It's gonna
yeah,
be
it's going to
flag
be straight
football.
flag football. That's why they're
That's it.
adapting to different things because it's more money for Aaron Rodgers to throw 10 touchdowns instead of me. I'm getting
Getting
paid
10
to knock his ass
tackles.
out the game.
Right.
Exactly. It's a big difference financially. We're in a financial stage of sports. That's why hockey is the only people that get away with fighting because
Yeah,
it's part of the game. It's part of
So
their game.
And
I
I'm not gonna
understand your
hold you.
point, bro.
That might stop soon too.
So this the
Yeah.
last thing. This the last thing I'm gonna say on this. And yes, I'm petty, but I understand your point. So so because I could paddle drive Jordan on the floor, that right, I could power bomb Jordan when he in the
Hmm.
air. That
Hmm.
era was better because he got back up and
100%.
was
No,
like,
I
"All
never,
right, I'm
I
a
never,
powder drive you
no,
back."
yo,
no, I never said, I never said it was, I never said it was better. It's the fear factor of coming in there
You ain't
now.
coming in the hole
You not coming in the
because
hole
of the
after,
because I power
right,
drived you. Yep.
right.
You ain't coming to the hole.
Now you're not coming to the hole no more. If I go there
How
now,
Try
about
I know.
try to shoot that jump shot from 40
how
feet.
about
I'll
we just slide
clothesline
those
you.
feet? How about we just slide those puppies? How about we just block the ball? Why we can't just
Okay,
do that?
They did do
now,
that. They did that
okay, so
too.
now,
They
Ken, you
definitely
got
did
a
that.
point. Now
You a rebound,
you,
I'm a tombstone. You watch.
They said, "How
but
about you just
no, but
block
Yo,
now
that
look at
come
it
in the
ball?"
now.
lane. I'm a
Look,
clothesline you, Jordan.
Tombstone.
Why?
but look at the league
You
now.
just can't guard me, bro. That's
Look at the
it. You
but hold on. You talk about the era now. This is just zone. This is zone defense. Nobody guards nobody. Nobody guards nobody one on one no more.
And
Nobody.
and
You
Kev, let me polish up your point. When we're doing is we're trying to throw these modern players back in the old day when they was getting beat up. The original argument started out like Michael Jordan and LeBron. When we took Jordan, who was our current LeBron, and put him in the old days, he got annihilated. And what happened? He got annihilated by the Pistons. What happened the
yeah,
next year?
destroy.
What
The Bad
happened the
Boys
next
Pistons
year?
destroyed them.
What happened the
He put
next
on
year?
weight.
It was next year.
He put on weight and got been strong. He got stronger.
He came
He
back, put on
stepped it
weight, he
up.
got
He
better, and he
stepped it
stepped it
up.
up.
He stepped it up. Can any player modern day step it up?
LeBron.
LeBron did that. He's done that.
that's why we have different
He
champions
just
every
he
year.
just he
LeBron.
just
That's why
done
we
it.
have different champions
No.
every year.
He just done it in a different sense. He didn't get beat up physically. He did it because he had to compete against different star power. So he had to step it up and become a better leader.
No,
That was
that's a
LeBron's
great
problem.
argument. That's a great
LeBron,
argument.
Kawhi, Giannis, Jokic, they all stepped it up in some type of way. Some shape or
But
Let
form.
me
but
see.
once again, this is an era where, like I said, like y'all keep saying, forget all the power driving, all that nonsense. Nobody is playing defense on nobody. And the prime example is the All Star game. Let's just look at it. Nobody's playing defense no more in no aspect whatsoever.
And they don't
FanDuel
even
has
care anymore. That's the
they
sad
don't
thing.
even care. We
Well,
don't
they don't
even have
care
a
because
every year.
it's two things, right? It's two things they don't care about. First of all, they don't care because it's just too much money. Everybody's getting too much money already. That's the
Hold
first
on,
thing.
hold
They
on,
don't,
and see what I just said, and that's
yeah.
what I was just talking about. The financial aspect of how sports is now. I'm
Mhm.
not paying you to knock LeBron out the game no more. LeBron is going to score. We want him to score because it's more money in my pocket. Kevin Durant said it before when he was on the Nets. He told them straight up and down. They said, Kevin Durant, why did you come back in the game? He said, what, to make FanDuel happy? No. We was up by
That's
20.
tough.
I'm gonna have a seat. I'm gonna have a seat. I'm done. We up by 20. The game is over. I don't care about FanDuel and making anybody richer. I don't care. He blew it up himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got nothing against LeBron. Shout out to him. He's gonna first ballot Hall of Fame and everything. This era, like I said, Joker. Because I'm just looking how slow motion Joker is, and people just letting him get by him. Like just like homeboy with the one arm in playing basketball.
Mhm.
I'm gonna see what his take on NBA gonna be because I'm pretty sure LeBron ain't gonna let this dude with one arm just cook him. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
care. Okay, let's just think about it right now. It's a gimmick.
because
Everything's a
at the end of
gimmick
the day,
because
they
it's
ball
money.
players. He's gonna be like, nah.
Yeah, come on, man. It's just what it
I
is.
don't know. He might cook. I don't know. He might cook.
Stop.
Not no
that-
zone diva.
Prosthetic, you
That
never know.
y'all underestimate him. One time,
not.
he got one arm. He might hit you with a in and out cross with the same arm. He might
does
cook.
that. He does that.
Yo,
He does
chill
that.
Yeah.
Like, in and out with the same arm,
But
reverse
against a
layup.
LeBron,
But
he gonna
this
get
is not a
torched.
physical defensive league. You think one arm he's gonna really cook everybody? No, I don't. And I'm tired of LeBron and Jordan comparison. Like I'm just so tired of it because it's two different
Yeah, me
eras
too.
completely.
Me too. I'm
It just
tired of it
it's
because
just too
LeBron's
much.
better, man. LeBron's better. I'm tired of it, man.
Let me
Hey,
add one more. Let me
I'll,
add one more one on one. You had asked the one on one. You ever heard of a guy named Bones Highland?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
I love that guy's game. That
Mhm.
Yeah.
guy's game, the shifty, like he's really
Like,
hard to stop.
Yeah.
He's hard to stop.
I'll
So,
put him against Rod Dillingham from the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. He's coming up.
Yeah,
He's coming up.
Hugo,
His minutes is coming up. He's nice.
I had a wild take though.
he's
You
gonna
know,
get that
I
15 minute.
wild
But-
take Jake, but I was just saying prime Chris Bosh versus prime KD be kind of fire to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
I'd rather watch Bosch against KG.
Kevin Garnett.
I don't-
Kevin
Me too.
Garnett.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, of course. You gonna fry Kevin Garnett though?
You know what?
No,
I'm
he
let
not.
me-
No, he not. You're
No, he not.
wildin'.
No, he
You're
not.
wildin'. You're wildin'.
Come on, now,
You're
yeah.
wildin'.
He
Come
gonna
on.
fry? That's crazy.
He's
Nah.
gonna
That's
fry
crazy.
Kevin.
It's gonna be a good game, man.
Listen, sir.
What the hell?
I'm
You
with
just-
the antics, but not that.
Nah,
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sold on that one,
I
brother.
told you I wild take Jake. All right, this is wild take Jake. All right, listen.
Yo.
Fry
Yo, what you
Kevin
think
All
about
right, all right, hold
Sean
on, fellas,
Kemp?
fellas.
What about Sean Kemp?
Fellas,
Sean
for the
Kemp.
sake of time, fellas, for the
Ooh.
sake of time.
Say that again,
Who y'all
D.
got?
Sean Kemp.
Wait, D. Who you said?
I got
Sean
Sean Kemp
Kemp.
against somebody. Against somebody.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Come on, just give me
Ooh.
one guy. One guy
Sean
out
Kemp
of the
versus
game.
Zion. Sean Kemp versus Zion.
Okay.
Nah,
that's-
Sean Kemp versus
that's all right.
Sean Kemp versus KD.
Nah. Sean
KD's
Kemp
winning that.
versus Stoudemire.
KD's winning
KD
that.
might win that one. I
Amari
want
Yeah,
to see
KD's
Sean.
winning that.
I want to see somebody with
Y'all,
Sean Kemp's skill
y'all
level.
better, y'all better check Sean Kemp's videos, bro. Don't just say he's just
Right.
gonna win.
I ain't
That's
just mentioning him for no reason. He
KD
could play
KD
D.
is winning that.
You
bro.
don't
I
get
just wanna
you
see
not get
somebody-
you don't get drafted out of high school just because you're not nice, bro.
I would go Sean Kemp and Stoudemire for sure. Who said that? That was you, wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
You
Sean
could
Kemp
put,
gonna win. Sean Kemp gonna win,
you
but
could put
that would be a good game.
KD. You could put KD against Tom Chambers too, because Tom Chambers was nice. A lot of people just don't know that. He's
KD
Hold
gonna
up.
win that. KD gonna
Hold
win
up.
that.
Yeah, he's not.
Yo,
He's
fellas, for the
nice.
sake of time, NBA
Son.
Finals, real quick. NBA Finals, real quick. Who you guys got coming off? Who's gonna win the title? Who you got?
OKC, bro.
OKC. I got
Because
OKC.
Tyler Halliburton might not even play tomorrow. So
Yeah.
OKC, bro.
Hmm.
But Tom Chambers was nice. I'm telling you, I'm gonna give y'all the who on him next time.
And who,
Nah,
who's winning Finals MVP?
Shake.
Jalen Williams.
Shake.
Jalen Williams.
I don't know.
I got
don't know,
Jalen
yeah,
Williams
it's tough.
because he
I don't know.
I got Jalen Williams because he stepped up the last 3 games. And if without him scoring, they wouldn't have won. I'm just keeping it real. Without him
Mhm.
helping out Shea, they wouldn't have won. I got Jalen Williams winning the MVP.
You
That's
giving
just
the
me.
finals for those just the 3 games. What about the whole joint?
Because he stepped up the whole joint. If he didn't step up, they wouldn't have won them last few games. He went
Yeah, they
from
wouldn't have been
the
here.
first. Yeah, they wouldn't have been there. I'll give it to him. Shay's going to naturally be the favorite to win it, but I'll give it to Jalen
That's what I was
Williams.
thinking. Right, fan favorite.
I feel like
Yeah, fan favorite.
their numbers are very close. So it's hard to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, because it's not like Jalen's averaging 40 and Shay's averaging 20. Like, nah, they're like 30
Right.
and
Neck
30.
and
Like
Yeah.
they right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So, all right, fellas. Well, this was a good one. We gotta,
Wrap it up.
see y'all in the next one. We gotta wrap it up. But it was nice to being back with the team. Welcome back to the 10th Man on the Bench podcast. I'm your host, Willis Love. This is the panel, and we up out of here, man. Instagram Live, Twitch, YouTube. We're going to be streaming live every time we go on and do an episode. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. We trying to build this thing up, and let's get the debates going, man. Let's keep going, man. We out of here, man.
We're going. Let's go.